after you've downloaded Evoto and you get in here, you're going to want to go to this library tab and click create project to start a new folder of images. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I'm going to name this baby girl. And then I'm going to click and drag to import all the images that I want to use. So I am importing my TIFF files that I've already processed out of RAW and saved into Photoshop. I've done all my compositing already, and I have done quick little retouching things like taking distracting items out and that sort of thing. Got them all in here. And now we're going to look at what we want to do within Evoto. So there's all kinds of different tabs over here. The color adjustments are all here. These are all global, versus if you click here, you can go masking and you can do quick little masks for like all the skin, facial skin, neck, body skin, face. Super cool that you can do all of these things. So let's say we wanted to just lighten her eyes a little bit. We could click here onto iris and go in and make her look like a creepy baby. Not too aggressive, obviously, but so fast and easy to bring up the lightness there if you want to do something like that. Okay, so the first thing that I always do is I go and do all of my skin tone evening that seems necessary, and then sometimes, you know, we've got little flaky skins and things. Evoto is evolving. I think that in just a matter of months maybe, they're going to have a better solution for flakes on baby, because there's going to be enough of us newborn photographers that say we want it. But right now it's this freckles and acne. So I'm here under portrait retouching. I'm going to bring up freckles and acne, and I bring it all the way up. You can see it's taken out a bunch of the little veins in her forehead, and it's kind of smoothed her cheeks. It's made her look a little bit doll-like to me, a little bit too much. She has really good skin to begin with, so it wasn't too aggressive. And it's kind of taken out those little flakies. If I bring down the acne, those are going to come back. If I bring down the freckles, they don't. So usually that acne button is what you want to use to try and get rid of some of those spots. Now, if we didn't want this to be affecting here on her forehead, we could always come up here and click this little pencil icon, and then you can paint out areas that you don't want to be affected. So I'm just using my bracket key to make my brush a little bit bigger, and you can also go to flow and opacity. I can just lightly paint out her forehead and then click OK. And now when I go to before and after, it's still affecting those little areas of flakes and spots on her chin and whatnot, but it's not affecting that area on her forehead. Now, the thing that it's not doing with this is feet or hands, and that's because right now we're just in the face refinement tool. We're going to go down here to body blemishes and just bring those up, and as you can see, it starts to get a little bit too gummy for me when you get too high, but it does do a pretty good job of evening out the skin and kind of reducing those flakes. This is one of those things that I really do think that they're going to get better at and be able to take out a little bit better down the line. As of right now, it's just not quite taking all of them out. It does have this healing brush tool up here where you can come in and just really quickly take them out, which is actually pretty fast and does a good job. So if you wanted to avoid having to go back into Photoshop, you could certainly do it this way just to get those little flakes that it's not quite taken out of the way. And then just click OK, and it will accept those changes. Now, we can also come down here to facial skin and do some burn and dodging. We can also go to body skin and burn and dodge if you wanted to. You could also go to frequency separation and start to get some of that modeling out even further. We're getting more and more refined here, but we're also getting a little bit more and more fake, if you will. So something to keep in mind as you're going through. Make sure that you've got some good texture there still. There is this texture slider down here that you can bump up if you want to add a little bit back, which I think works pretty well, just to give a little bit more grit back to it. And then down here you also can go to clarity, and you see how that immediately added some grit back into her arms and legs. It did kind of bring back it a little bit too aggressively in here, so I've got it a little bit too high. You want to find the happy medium where it brings back a little bit of texture and detail without being too aggressive. I do like how it's kind of sharpened her toes and given us some texture in here in her chin area, even in her arm, but it hasn't brought back that modeling underneath her skin, which is really nice. So there's some good things and bad things in here. Now, the one thing that I don't like is it's added that clarity to her face as well, and it's a little bit too much for me up there. So you have to find the right balance of where you're happy with it, and I think it's the texture actually that has gone too far for me. Yep. So I've just dropped down that texture, and now her face looks a lot better. So you're going to want to balance those sliders and figure out what works the best for you and how you like your babies. Now, this is the part that I really wanted to introduce in this class, is the skin tone right here. So there's this AI Unified Face Complexion. If we bring it up all the way, and go before and after, it's making her a little bit less jaundiced in the face there. Can you see how she's going a little bit less yellowy in her cheeks in particular? I'm just kind of making her a little bit more magenta all the way across the board. It's a little too far for me. So again, I'm going to go down a little bit, not go quite so aggressive with it. Same thing with Unified Body Complexion. I'm going to bring that up just a little bit and see what it does. Can you see that? So it went pretty high on the shadows. So this is the part that in theory should look really good, but it goes just a little bit too crazy where it's trying to match her arms and legs to her face, and it's just too much. So you could go a couple points there, but I actually like this Unified Body Complexion a little bit better. If I go all the way up, it's going to get more into the color side of things. So can you see how it made her just a little bit more yellowy green to match her face rather than just lightening everything? This is more in that body complexion range. So if you go to this little question mark here, there we go. If you go to this little question mark, it says it's maintaining a uniform complexion throughout the entire body. AI will automatically scan the image for inconsistent skin coloration before applying any corrections to avoid unintended and undesirable results. So I think it does a pretty good job, actually. It's sometimes a little too much, but overall, not bad. The other thing you can do is go down here and select your skin tone. Now, if we wanted to go like really dark, you could give the baby a little fake tan. Obviously, we don't want to do that, so I'm not a big fan of these. I think it just gets a little bit out of control. It's not quite right for what we're trying to do, but if you were trying to, add some darkening or something, you could attempt that. I do like this temperature slider though. If overall she's just a little bit too yellow, you can pull some yellow out there, make her a little bit cooler, or if she's not quite warm enough, you can add a little bit of warmth back into her. You can also go a little bit warmer on the yellow and a little bit more magenta. It's basically just adjusting your white balance, but just for her skin. So that's pretty cool. And then you also can go to Skin Radiance. This one is not really for me. It can help a little bit when you have that gray factor and just need a little bit of boost of contrast. Rosy Complexion literally makes her look red or very sickly green. I don't like this one at all. It's not great. So that's where I go with color correction on babies within Evoto, and for the most part, I like it. Occasionally, when you do use that Unified Body Complexion, you do need to watch out for those lights and darks that just don't do as good of a job. So like I said, explore this Unified Body Complexion rather than the AI Unified Body Complexion just to see what kind of difference it gives you.